All right, so here's an example on compounding interest over an interval. So the equation that we talked about last week was A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the NT power. So our A is our ending, our P is our initial or starting, our R is our rate. And remember that the rate is always in terms of a decimal. N is the number of compounding periods, and T is time. So when we read through this problem, we want to try to pick out whatever we can in order to help us substitute those values into that equation. So we deposit $15,000 into an account. So that means that that's the value that we're starting with. So I'm going to mark that as a P. Paying 7% interest. So there's our interest rate. But again, when we convert 7% into a decimal, remember that we're really moving the decimal place over to the left two places. So that tells me that my interest rate in terms of a decimal is actually 0.07. We want to find the balance in the account after 3 years. So 3 years is our time or our T if it is compounded quarterly. So that's telling us that we are compounding 4 times a year, so our end value is going to be 4. So basically the only value that we didn't have anything for was our A or our ending, which makes sense because we want to find the balance in the account after a certain amount of time. So we want to know, well, what is A? So if we go ahead and substitute our values into our equation, A is going to be equal to 15,000 times 1 plus our rate of 0.07 divided by our n of 4 raised to the nt, so 4 times 3. And I'm going to use my order of operations to simplify this. So I'm going to first divide out that 0.07 by 4. I'm just going to carry down the 15,000, the 1 plus, and in my calculator, 0.07 divided by 4 was 0.0175. At the same time, I'm going to clean up this exponent. 4 times 3 gives me 12. And then I'm going to work on the inside of my set of parentheses. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these two terms together. So it's going to give me 15,000 times 1.0175 raised to the 12th. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator to evaluate this entire thing. I want to know what 1.0175 raised to the 12th is. So I'm going to carry down that 15,000. And when I do this, I'm going to round this to 6 decimal places so that I'm getting the most exact answer that I can. So this whole quantity raised to the 12th power rounded to 6 decimal places is about 1.231439. And when I multiply that number by 15,000, that's going to get me an A value or my ending value of, and since we're talking money here, it's going to be about $18,000, 471.59. And since we're dealing with money, I'm going to round that to 2 decimal places. So after 3 years in the account, my balance will be about $18,471.59.